Hey folks, welcome to my channel. Let's talk about a free, simple system that you can use to manage multi-million-dollar projects at various stages in the life cycle to where people will be impressed at how much you can get done, as well as how organized you are. I'm Britt with Practical Project Lab, and I help people design and lead better projects to achieve their visions through online training and online resources. One of the worst things a project manager can have happen to them is somebody else on their team reminds them of something that they need to have done. I've now built my own system for organization to make sure I can track everything that I would ever need to do, which has helped me through for my early days when I was doing social media, email marketing, and fundraising for a nonprofit, all the way up to now where I'm managing a PMO and managing a team of project managers managing their own multi-million-dollar projects. Today I'm going to talk about you can use the same system to manage your personal goals, your professional goals, or project management activities for various projects. This system is extremely easy, it's free, it's in Excel, and it is incredibly satisfying to cross things off the list and reflect back at the end of the day to see all of the things that you've actually accomplished. When I first started out, I was a productivity junkie, and one of the books I picked up was David Allen's Getting Things Done. This has a little bit of a cult following. It's a slightly older book now, but the premise of it is still brilliant in terms of how to go through, rank, and prioritize the tasks that you need to do. If you keep too much in your head, you're bound to forget something. This is a way of getting it all out of your head so you can focus on the real project problems as opposed to like what's in your to-do list and what you need to do next. Think of it when you're doing those introductions of everybody in the room and you're just constantly thinking about what you're going to say as opposed to really listening to the others and hearing what their introduction is. You want to get all of those activities and tasks out of your head, but in an organized fashion, and you want to commit to really one system to do that. If you downloaded my template, you'll actually have access to 3 different sheets. This first sheet is a README where it covers the steps to build your priority matrix. The second is the priority matrix itself, and the third is a daily review or daily reminders for you to pop open either in the morning or in the evening whenever your tasks are complete so that you can reprioritize for the next day. One of the very first steps that we have to build the priority matrix is to get anything that is in your head onto the paper or the Excel. The first thing you'll want to do is a dump of any activities that you might have that are lingering as a to-do. And I'm talking about activities for this week, for next week, and this will be your backlog moving forward. I've already added a few here. Confirm the PO has been signed, record video, prep steering committee deck. Let's add 2 more for the sake of this tutorial. So now that I've added all of my tasks, the second step is actually to group them. We want to group them to eliminate inefficiency that would happen when we have to switch contexts too often. For this case, I'm going to say that this is project CA. Now that we've added our tasks, the next step and the third step in the process is to actually provide a ranking. A few things to keep in mind with the rankings. 1s and 2s should be done today. 3s, 4s, 5s should be done throughout the course of the week, maybe by the end of the week. 10s are just things that you want to get out of your brain and onto paper, but you're not exactly sure when they're going to happen. They're far into the future. I also use a W, and this is to hold the place of things that I am dependent on somebody else for, but I don't want to forget. For the W's, I will put a W in the priority ranking, and then I'll also put a due date as to when I need to follow up with. Let's say that we're waiting on this one, and we're going to say the due date is, and let's go ahead and rank the rest. Okay, so now I've ranked them according to where I see the priority right now. And this is important because you'll actually open this every day and you'll reprioritize. I listed some things as 1s and 2s, other things as 5, and then I have 1 W of something I'm waiting on. The next step is to actually estimate the amount of time I think it's going to take. And again, this is why it's so important to make sure that we have smaller tasks. I do these in increments of 5, 15, 30, and 60. Anything that's over 60 is probably too big, and it doesn't help me when I look at my calendar to try to see when I can actually accomplish it. So now I have put in the time for everything. I haven't added due dates for the remainder of them because focus here is on priority ranking, but in the past I have used due date when there's things that have set end dates that I must hit. So you might have been wondering why this particular task is gray. That's because it's been completed. I will use highlighted to make sure if I've got an extremely long priority list to highlight things in yellow to bring them to the top of the sheet, and then things that are in gray will end up at the bottom. This is wonderful for me because I actually have a chance to reflect on all of the things I've accomplished that day. The final step here is that we are actually going to sort. Now, if you've downloaded my template, I've already set up the sorting for you. And so now it's actually sorted according to my priority, what context area it's in, the time, and the due date. So here you can see my W's kind of end up at the bottom because we're waiting on some sort of due date, but we still have the due date as a reminder to us. It's actually just told me exactly what I need to do and what order I need to do it. And it's taken out that energy I need to put in to think about what's next, as well as making sure that I'm working on the most important thing first. A few other things to note, again, as part of the daily review, you need to look at this daily because something that was a 1 or a 2 today should be complete by the end of the day, and something that is maybe a 5 at the end of this week, by the time Friday hits, is actually going to be maybe a 1 or a 2. It's important you actually reprioritize things daily, even if maybe the due date or the amount of time that's needed to complete the task isn't quite finished. The other thing is, as actions come up around your day, make sure everything makes it into the sheet. You can't really prioritize one thing against another if something's missing. Again, you want to sort by color if you're using highlight, then priority, and then by the date. Make sure you spend some time reflecting and also patting yourself on the back. There's so much that we do throughout the course of the day that maybe as a project manager, you're sort of thinking about the next stage, and it's nice to actually reflect on what you've actually accomplished. It's easy to get going, and it's very satisfying to cross things off your list. I've found it helpful. My project managers have found it helpful. I encourage you to give it a try for a week and let me know how it goes. If this video was helpful for you, please drop a like, comment on the video, let me know how your 5-day challenge went. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in project management tool tutorials, tips and tricks for project management, and thanks for watching.